Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jacqueline Coles, and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Sophia. I'm joined here with my colleagues from the admissions department, as well as the marketing department, as well as our esteemed faculty of the life coaching program, who I'll introduce in just a moment. We'll start our information session, the introduction of the faculty, who will then give their PowerPoint presentation at the end. And at the end, we can answer any questions you have about the program and admissions process. But in the meantime, feel free to ask any questions in the chat during the presentation, and we'll address them at the end. All right, so I would first like to introduce our esteemed director of the Transformative Life Coaching Concentration and Certificate Program, Tami Mensh. Tami has her master's degree in psychology, as well as an ACC coaching accreditation with the International Coaching Federation. She's trained in the power of embodied transformation and the power of presence, an experienced circle leader, a creator, and host of the Emerging Consciousness Global Online Festival. Her experience combines palpable energy with her master's education in transpersonal psychology, practices as a transformative life and spiritual business coach, and over 30 years of experience in marketing and entrepreneurship. I'll now hand it off to Tami to give her presentation.
Thank you. I just want to add that I'm a PCC accredited coach, so we'll have to make that little adjustment in the introduction. And I'm here joined with Cassandra Gaddis, who we like to call Kaz. She is the TA for the program. She's a powerhouse. She's a PCC coach too, and a PhD student at Sophia. So she's a great resource and support for us at Sophia. So thanks for being here with us, Kaz. Appreciate you. And it's good, so good to see everyone here. Thank you for joining us. I'm imagining that you are here because you realize how important coaching is in the world today. Not only is it a billion something dollar industry, but more and more companies and organizations are incorporating coaching into their work because they realize how valuable it is in creating autonomy and sustainability with their employees and with clients. So it's a really important service that we are offering in the world today, where we're so divided and the world is so full of conflict, that coaching really helps people to become seen and heard and understood, and to resolve inner conflict and personal conflict, and to help us to become the best humans we can be. And that is the mission at Sophia, is moving humanity forward. And we've done that for 50 years. It's our 50th anniversary here, and we're really proud of that in transpersonal excellence. And for those of you that don't know what transpersonal psychology or the word transpersonal means, it's about consciousness. It's about psycho-spirituality, and really expanding into our capacity, our full capacity and human potential through dreams and creativity and intuition and all of those things that go beyond our human, mind and body and into the farthest realms. And so we use all of that to bring into our work and into our coaching, because we really believe that that is what is needed now in these critical times. So just wanted to share a little bit about Sophia's mission and the coaching importance in the Sophia education system. As a matter of fact, many different departments, and from the MBA to the global programs, are reaching out and saying, how can we include coaching and integrate coaching into all different facets of what we're learning and what at the school and what we're doing in the world. So thanks for recognizing the importance of that. So just wanted to start with that. Sofia is based in California. We have two campuses, one in Palo Alto and one in Costa Mesa. I am on the East Coast right now. I live in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and it's 9 p.m. So, it's nighttime for me, and whatever time you made to be here, we're welcome to have you here. So I have a PowerPoint that I'm going to share, just a few slides, but I really want to make this as interactive as possible and allow you to ask any questions that you have. If something comes up along the way, don't let me just do all the blah, blah, blah. We're here because of you and to answer your questions. So please feel free to jump in anytime in the chat or just unmute yourself and say, hey, Tami, what about this? Because I want to make sure that everybody gets the information that they came here to receive. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right. I can't see all of you, so make sure that I can hear you or see you, or Jacqueline will see you in the chat if you have something that you wanted to say. So so let's talk about your coaching journey at Sofia. Sofia has coaching as a part of the Masters of Transpersonal Psychology degree program, and we have a 20-week coaching certification program. So the content is pretty much the same in both of those tracks, except that in the master's program, you're getting a 2-year master's degree in transpersonal psychology along with the coaching certification. How cool is that? I mean, where else can you go and get a master's degree and a coaching certification? I think that really makes us unique. And the coaching certification, the 20-week program, is going to be what I'm going to be focusing on a little bit more tonight. So just to start out, make sure that everyone knows, like, what is coaching? There are so many different ways that people interpret what coaching is. And so I want to talk about what we mean when we say coaching in this program. And I like to do that with a little comic book story that I saw that I thought really expressed coaching in a really good way, a little joke, a little comic joke. And it goes like this. There are two goldfish swimming in a fishbowl. And one goldfish says to the other goldfish, hey, how's the water? And the other goldfish says, what water? What water? So by this, it means that we are swimming in water every day, and sometimes we don't even know the water that we're swimming in. We can't see what we are immersed in. And so what coaching does is it helps you jump out of that water, and it helps you to see bigger picture, more expanded view of who we are and how we are relating in the world. The ICF, which is our accrediting body, it is the International Coaching Federation, and this is what we align ourselves with at Sofia. And the International Coaching Federation defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So the key words here are partnering with clients. And at Sofia, we learn how to practice transformative coaching through the lens of transpersonal psychology, utilizing core competencies as designated by the ICF. So what that means is we are taking the ICF core competencies of being a coach and applying transpersonal psychology to that. So that makes it a very transformative process for the coach as well as the coachee. So the way we do that is through a process of reflective inquiry, and that's a coaching technique where we reflect back or mirror to the coachee, what we see or sense they are bringing to the conversation in way of emotional tone, beliefs, or values. And this reflection is followed by a question or an inquiry that evokes insight so they can gain a better understanding of how they think and see in the world. So we are a thinking partner with this client. And this approach is being embraced by leaders and teachers and therapists to bring it into their work because, as I said before, it develops more autonomy and sustainable change and transformation in those that we work with. So in the program, we are helping you to develop your own internal technologies with your heart as a guide to see how this powerful process can be applied to your unique work and life. So in this course, we are also incorporating transpersonal qualities such as curiosity and compassion and active listening and presence and metaphor and self-awareness. So we use that in these can be applied to leadership development, psychedelic integration, energy healing, astrology, creativity, parenting, personal relationships, and so much more. So to summarize, coaching is not teaching, it's not training, it's not therapy, it's not counseling, it's not mentoring, it's not consulting, it's not performance management or employee assistance. It is about asking, not telling the client so that they can learn how to tap into their own inner guidance to find out what's best for them. And with the ICF, as that we work with within the ICF framework, we're working with this gold standard. And you leave with a coaching certification, but also with most of what you need to become an ACC level coach. That is the first level of coaching with the ICF. And through our program, you meet many of those requirements, which I will talk about in more detail in a little bit. And you are able to get a lot of coaching hours that also count towards your ACC accreditation. So let me just stop there for a minute to see if how this is landing for you. Is anybody feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm surprised, I didn't know that this is what was coaching, or any feedback from anyone here on what they've heard so far? It sounds like everybody is like, yeah, this is coaching. This is what I know coaching to be. And that's great because I've had so many people that have come to the program and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought I was supposed to tell people what I know. I thought I was supposed to teach them my knowledge. No, we are teaching people to find it within themselves. And that is what makes it so transpersonal. Okay, so I will continue if there's nothing more here. We'll talk a little bit more about the program and the ways that you can use coaching. So I started like making this list of different coaching niches. And I'm just going to read through some of the ones that just came off the top of my head and the ones that I see in the industry and the ones that my students have come and incorporated coaching with. So, coaching can happen internally or externally in an organization. A lot of more government and a lot of different organizations offer coaching to help develop the leaders and the employees in their businesses and organizations. Coaches apply nature to coaching. They do walks in nature. They use nature as a guide, as a way of knowing. There's executive coaching, which is how do leaders become better leaders, right? There's health and wellness coaching, career coaching, psychedelic integration coaching, relationship coaching, performance-based coaching, emotional intelligence coaching, empowerment coaching, leadership coaching, spiritual business coaching. I do a lot of that in the school. I do it personally, where we have people that are have a lot of modalities and want to learn how to start their spiritual business with using coaching, and that's a really great application of coaching skills combined with transpersonal principles as well. There's mindset coaching, financial coaching. I have a former student and alumni. She's a money magnet coach, and she teaches people how to improve their relationship with money. I have someone, this isn't even on here, it's just coming to my mind. She is a clutter buster coach, and she works with people to learn what is it that's making me hold on to these things? Why do I have clutter in my life? And why is it so hard to let go of that? So she's incorporating coaching into that type of modality. Now we're having team and group coaching so that you can help to improve the way that teams and groups work together. There's medical intuitive coaching, energy healing coaching, and of course, transformational coaching, which is what we focus on and how do we change how do we change our way of being in the world. So transformative coaching is quickly growing in popularity. It challenges old ingrained patterns of thought. Clients often see themselves and their circumstances in new ways, and they become empowered to identify and to identify how they can take action towards the life that they want. Our coaching is forward thinking. What can we do now with what we know, how to move forward? How can we take inspired action in our lives? And this really is best for anyone who is looking for greater clarity, purpose, and passion in their personal and professional lives. That's a personal mission statement of a lot of our coaches. They want to help people find more purpose and passion, which is missing in so many people's lives. They feel there's something here that they're looking for, something that they're seeking, and they don't quite know what it is. How can I make a greater impact in the world? And that's what we do through transformative coaching. I'm just going to take a breath here and see if anybody has any comments or thoughts about these different niches, or they maybe another one that they want to throw into the mix. Or maybe, hey, I do this type of work in the world. How would coaching work with that?
I think I'm curious about the spiritual business niche, Tammy. I know you said you do a lot of that, and I'm curious what that looks like for you and how you utilize coaching for that. And then for myself, like it's something that I've always considered, like modalities like tarot, like this gratitude box that I created with a guidebook that I would want to infuse or weave into coaching somehow. So yeah, just curious around that and more of like an inclusive approach versus maybe, and not a knock at therapy at all, but more of like just the mind and that concentration. So,
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thanks, Colleen, for that. We so there's I'm not sure if you're asking how would you um uh teach how would you coach around spiritual business? Is that
mhm.
what you're saying? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious how you have too. So both.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for asking. Yeah.
yeah.
Um the these are beautiful, like you said, bringing in this gratitude box and tarot. Those are beautiful ways to evoke awareness,
Mhm,
which is one of the coaching competencies that we practice. How do we allow people help people to see beyond their current way of thinking? And tarot and gratitude boxes and all of these different ways are a beautiful way to bring that in. And so if you have a client who is looking for, the passion or purpose or how to bring more gratitude in their life or direction in their life, you would use your modality that you're using as a way to evoke awareness. But you would be asking questions. You would be holding a very sacred space for them and asking questions that help them to find their own meaning
mhm,
in what the modalities that you're doing together.
mhm, mhm.
Does
Cool. Yeah.
does that make sense?
That makes sense. I think also that leads to me thinking about, I know how you said it's asking versus telling. So I think that's an important distinction because I think that that overlap is a very fine line at times or can be. So I guess I'm curious, and maybe you'll get into this. I might be getting ahead of myself, like sort of are there prompts or cues or sort of like I think the grow model was what I saw in the description of how you go about asking versus telling.
Yes, so the you bring up the grow model. That's just
Yeah.
one framework that we use to cover all of the coaching competencies. Once
Okay.
you learn these different frameworks, they all just fall away
Mm,
and you are um, having unconsciously competent at
mhm,
being able to use the competencies in working with your clients. So the grow model, as you're referring to, is about getting to the goal
mhm,
of the session. What is it that your client wants to take away from this? What is that they want to what outcome would they like from this session? You discuss their current reality. What is it that's making it so hard for them right now
mhm.
to accept this current reality? You explore options, which is the O part, and the W stands for creating the way forward. So it's just kind of a framework where we take them through the coaching process is one way to do that.
Okay.
And it is a uh, a for them to be able um, to work with you and to see what's coming up and then finding out what would be the best path. What is it that you most need to know right now? What is it that you most want to know right now? And then asking, reflecting to them what you're observing, what you're seeing, what you're hearing them say, asking them how this resonates for them and what it might mean for them. Is how we do it by asking rather than, well, let me tell you, when I look at this
Yeah.
tarot
Yeah.
card, this means this,
Yeah,
right?
right. Okay.
What
Yeah.
does this mean to you knowing this?
Mhm.
And now that you know this, what might you want
Yeah,
to how might you want to
totally.
move forward about that?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's very
Okay.
helpful.
Okay, good. All right.
It
So,
looks
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it looks like we have a request to go back to the list of niches.
Okay, cool. Yeah, right there. And I'm sure that you can add many, many more. I see Annie's raising her hand. Did you have a question about the niches, Annie? I can't hear you. I think you're muted. No. Okay.
Did you want to go ahead and type it in the chat? I can ask.
Okay. All right. Is this slide did you get to see what you wanted to see in this slide? Okay, cool. Great. All right. I'm going to move on to talk a little bit about what our program looks like and what we do. So we have a experiential and transformative curriculum. But of course, right, we're all about transpersonal psychology. So the way that we the way that we move through the curriculum is very hands-on, very interactive with high engagement. So we have the program is virtual. It's 100% virtual. You can do it from anywhere, but we do have synchronous live classes that we at the beginning meet every week. And that way we can practice coaching together and I can observe your coaching. We can learn. We do different mindfulness practices so that we can really come into a way of being as a coach. So much about coaching is your way of being, the presence that you hold, the listening, the quality of listening. So we do a lot of work around that. And we provide a lot of really valuable feedback. So if you're going into the coaching program, you are going to want to be someone that is open to receiving feedback and learning and growing, not saying, oh, I already know all that this is what this is about. You want to be, I like to say, coaches need to be coachable, right? And so we give you a lot of really hands-on, great feedback and help you to grow and to learn and embody the competencies. We also cover the ethics and the ethical standards. That's very important in with the ICF accreditation because in order to be an ICF accredited coach, you have to hold certain ethical standards. And we take that very seriously because we take our credential very seriously so that we are legitimized against a lot of other people that call themselves coaches, but are doing things that aren't purely coaching. During the coursework, we do a lot of transpersonal practices. So we're working on ourselves. We do work on identifying our emotions. We keep mindfulness journals, self-awareness practices, and learning subject-object relationships. Like, where do I start and where do you end? You know, what's mine and what's yours? And how do we see, like we did that fish, how do we see what's ours and what's not? And one other thing that's really great about our program, a lot of coaches will like, how do I start my coaching business? You know, and while they do have internal and coaches that you can be a part of an organization, many coaches decide to start their own coaching business and go on an entrepreneurial track with it. So for that, we work on your values and visions and target market assessment and a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats in your market and with your competition, so you can find out where you can niche and where you can fit into the market and to get yourself started as a coaching entrepreneur if that's the path that you want to take. Another part that is really experiential, and you're going to want to mark these dates in your calendar, is that we start with a 3-day immersion. a 3 half-day immersion, I should say. So on April 16th, 17th, and 18th, we are going to meet synchronously for 4 hours each day and really dig in and really get to know each other and begin to practice the competencies as well as other spiritual practices and techniques during that time. So that's a really important way for us to really get started and launch together. And then from after that point, we meet on weekly on Zoom for like 7 Wednesdays. It depends how big the group is, to how much we cover, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. PT. And then after that, you will have other synchronous meetings, but there'll be more times that we'll set for mentoring. So there'll be about 10 more hours after the weekly Zooms that you will do synchronously. And the rest is done asynchronously on our Canvas platform. Any questions about the experiential and transformative curriculum? All
I
right.
just have one around, I know it all sounds really great, but I think my only question is I do work a full-time job, so that Wednesdays from 9 to 11, is that kind of set in stone in terms of that's the time that everyone would meet?
So you're not available during like 9 to 5 every day?
I mean, it depends on when I have meetings. So yeah, that would be the only thing. I could definitely talk to my work about it as they support these kind of endeavors. So, but it might be a bit difficult.
Okay. Well, we can look at that more deeply once we see who is in the program
Cool.
and maybe we can work with that. I will say that these meetings are not recorded.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they are live and the
Yeah,
attendance is required because
for
there
sure.
are certain hours that in order to become credentialed and accredited to get your credential, your certificate, you will need to have these live hours that's required by
Yeah.
the ICF. So
Yeah.
we can see how we can make this work depending on the size of the group. So I don't
Okay.
want you to say, "Oh, no, this
Yeah.
is not possible."
Right.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. No,
but I'm glad that you asked that question because these are live and not recorded and part
okay.
of the requirement for ICF. So,
For sure. And I would
we'll
love to join them live, not on not watch them recorded. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's super important. So I'm glad
Mhm.
that you brought that up. Yeah. This slide gets a little bit into the details, so I'm just going to be really quick about it because you can look at this on your own later. But for those of you that love the little details and want all the little, want this is you might be appealing to you. Um, so what we are with the ICF, we are a level 1 accredited institution, a level 1 accredited program. And that means that all the hours and all the training that you do, the mentoring, the evaluations are all included in our program and accepted by the ICF as if they did it themselves. So we are entrusted by the ICF to provide all of this training, and they count everything that we do towards their accreditation. So the total hours of our program are 99 hours. So you will get 99 education hours in the 20 weeks of this program. And that is typically only 60 is required, but we go above and beyond to 99. So that's even more training than you will receive. Um, so when you complete these requirements that I have listed here, and I realize they may not be easy to see, and we can provide a PDF to you with this in more detail, but you will ethically be able to advertise yourself having completed these and passed these as a certified leadership and transformative coach. So you will leave here being a certified coach and being very close to being able to get your ICF ACC credential. The only thing you will have left to do is to gain some more practice hours and to take a written exam. But everything else is included in this program. So it's all right here for you in a bundle, everything you need. So once you do the full participation in our online intensive that I mentioned earlier, the live teleconferences where you're going to be observed and receive written feedback, you'll do 12 coaching sessions outside of class, where you'll fill out self-reflection forms and get comments on that. You'll attend 7 hours of group mentoring and 3 hours of one-on-one mentoring, which is highly, highly valuable. You'll record some sessions and then submit a final recording and transcript that will be used for your evaluation. And we will help you to make sure that you get as close to you can to pass that final assessment. And then once you complete all the online readings and discussions, then this is what gives you your certification. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, I know it's a lot of information, but we take it piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, so it's not overwhelming. And I would say that when you're budgeting your time for like you said, Colleen, you work full time, that maybe 5 hours a week online, plus the outside coaching would be about probably the time. So if you think about it, we're doing 99 education hours. So that's in the 20 weeks, that's a minimum of 5 hours a week plus some. So you can figure out how that fits into your schedule. And just a couple more slides here. I wanted to share just some out of the box ways that I have used my coaching expertise in kind of untraditional ways. I developed a vivid vision workshop, and I had it as a vivid vision and yoga workshop. And I used coaching to help people to write their vivid vision of the future. I did that also for the Chinese Global College at Sofia as well. So there are really unique ways that you can bring coaching into different ways. Here's an example of visioning and yoga as the way to combine it. Here's another picture that I have where I was leading a presentation at the Capital Coaches Conference. And it was called Rituals of Rewilding. And we did a sacred talking circle at the Coaches Conference. And it completely aligned with the ICF competencies in a very unique way. Here you see all of these ICF coaches in this circle, passing the talking stick. And I had the music going, all we had sage, we had oracle cards, and the coaches walked into the session. They're like, "What is going on here?" And they loved it and got so much out of it. People were emotional, and they all left with an intention moving forward and learning about how they could combine coaching with these different types of work that they do. So just a couple of examples of that. So I'm going to take a breath here. And my final slide is the deadline for the registration, which is April 7th. We start on the 16th with our immersion, and I have my email here, so I can answer any questions email if you prefer. But I'm here and available for the next, 15 minutes or however long it takes to make sure you have all the information that you want to know about the program.